Well, here it is, Friday, 1 o'clock, 75 degrees on the 22 wing. Fresh oil change here, just changed the oil on this bike. Got 6,048 miles on this 22 wing. And headed back to Jackson. A little bit more entertainment we'll bring you today. So thanks for riding along with us, everybody. Okay, we've arrived at our destination here. Let me get across the road before I get hit. Gil Scott Heron, godfather of rap, born in Chicago in '49, moved to Jackson in 1950, made his home until he was 13 years. In 1962, he was one of 3 AAs to desegregate Tigard Junior High School. Moved to New York City, developed into a world-renowned poet and musician, such as The Revolution Will Not Be Televised, The Bottle, and Winter in America. In 1980, he and Stevie Wonder laid the foundation for the Martin Luther King National Holiday. Gil Scott Heron died May 27, 2011, later interred in Kensico Cemetery, Westchester County, New York. Known as the godfather of rap, he was inducted to Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2021 as a recipient of the Early Influence Award. Okay guys, we're at the Carnegie Library, which is also a museum, Legends of Tennessee Music. You can see includes Carl Perkins, Eddie Arnold, Sonny Boy Williamson, W.S. Holland, Isaac Tigard, and Tina Turner, of course, which I did in an earlier video. So let's go in and see what we can find today. This beautiful day for a ride, and we are out on our 22 wing parked right over there across the road. So we're going to go in and enjoy the festivities.
I was telling, are we missing somebody? Oh, there you are. I was telling them that this was her first hard rock cafe in the United States, in the mall here next to Sears, because Isaac Tigard's mother owned the mall. And there are lots of pins that people collect. I didn't realize that till I came to work here, that people love to collect hard rock pins. And we have one that says Jackson, Tennessee, first to rock, but you have to go on our website and enter to win, because you can't buy one. You can enter to win. And let's go over here. I was telling these first 2 guests that I'll just tell you a few things and then let you enjoy the room at your own pace. Carl loved to raise money for the prevention of child abuse. Yes, in every West Tennessee county, there's a building with paid staff for the prevention of child abuse. And then we had a little lady here, her name was Cousin. She liked to raise money for the cerebral palsy children. So he would help her with her telethons. She would help him with his telethons. And both telethons still go on today. But there's Carl in the middle of all the CP children, and a nurse went up and said, well, Mr. Perkins, there's a kid named Ricky standing behind you, and he's a grabber. He may try to grab your hair. And Mr. Perkins said, well, that's all right. It's a wig. It'll just come off. What a great guy. Yeah. And there's a Country Music Hall of Fame medallion in that suitcase. And this is a Grammy. It's not a Grammy like the singers get. It's his Lifetime Achievement Award Grammy. One time when Randy was in Memphis, he went to the Gibson Guitar Factory, and they were changing locations. And Randy said, what are you going to do with this big red guitar? And And they said, well, we're gonna throw it away. And Randy said, well, I want it, so now we got it. I'll meet you on the other side. This statue of Elvis is one of the things that came out of Henry Harrison's museum.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, yeah. He's lost his thumb. Bless his heart. It's a good place to take pictures if we want me to take your pictures. This black and white guitar back here behind the glass, that was Carl's first electric guitar. And it was it was from Sears, and he didn't want people knowing he was playing a guitar from Sears, so he painted it black. Until he could afford that one on top. These are the original logos of the House of Blues. When Isaac was opening the House of Blues in Chicago, they pulled his occupancy permit, they pulled his liquor license, and the Archdiocese of Chicago wrote him a letter. Because if you take the words House of Blues off that, that's the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And so the Archdiocese said, no, you cannot use that logo. It's sacrilegious. So 4 days later, they had a new logo. Had to. We have just installed a marker outside for Gil Scott Heron. He was a very famous, he was first a rap. He's the godfather of rap, and he grew up here in Jackson. So we've just gotten all this wonderful memorabilia about him. And we had over 200 people this morning. They dedicated it. By the way, there's cookies over there, feel free. As you know, Carl wrote Blue Suede Shoes in the late 50s. Well, he and Elvis used to play together, but in the old roadhouses, you know, before they became famous. And so they were on their way to New York City for Carl to sing Blue Suede Shoes on the first national television airing of Blue Suede Shoes. And Elvis was going to meet him up there. Well, they came over a hill in Delaware. There was a stalled truck. They ran into the truck. The driver was killed. Carl had several skull fractures. His brother died 2 years later from his injuries. But guess who went on national TV and sang Blue Suede Shoes? Elvis. And that's why people think Elvis did Blue Suede Shoes.
You definitely got more vision from Elvis.
Exactly.
But you know, we all know.
Exactly.
That was one of his
Yes.
forefront.
Yes. If you'll look in this case over here, excuse me.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm gonna get out of here. This way.
This is the original telegram that Elvis sent to Carl in the hospital. And as you can see, Elvis wasn't Elvis yet. It's misspelled. It says Elvis Presley. And they never played together again.
Oh.
These panels up here were painted by a local artist who happens to be in the building.
Oh.
Except for the green one over there. Anyway, they came from Henry's museum.
Yes,
And I think they're very well displayed.
I remember.
I don't know how she gets those expressions.
Yeah.
We're talking about you, Lyndon.
Well,
Anyway.
very kind.
I think they're very well displayed. I hate to brag on us. I didn't do it. But you can, it certainly fills the space nicely. And you can see them. So enjoy this room. And when you get through, then except for your goodie bag.
Carl likes his clothes, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And you know, he was not a small man, but the clothes on exhibit make them look so
Okay, folks. Hope you enjoy.
This is all the autograph of all four Beatles. Isn't that cool?
Okay, so the Beatles all autographed. Oh yeah, I see that. Uh-huh.
Are you familiar with the $1 Million Quartet?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, you know, one time they were recording and it was a trio because Johnny Cash's wife wanted to go Christmas shopping. So she said, dude, you're out of here. And here is his Rock and Roll Hall of Fame plaque. And this is one of our favorite stories that we tell. When Carl was in the 6th grade, his teacher wanted to start a marching band, and Carl said, well, I want to be in it. And whoever heard of an acoustic guitar in a marching band, she was a good teacher. She said yes. She got him a uniform because he was very poor. And there he is, standing on the back row with his little guitar. There's even a kid on the front row with a kazoo.
Oh yeah.
But the cool thing about it is, she brought them here for that picture. So in the 6th grade, he was standing on the steps in front of a building that would one day honor him.
Right, this building, yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And that's his poor house, back to the left.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a couple more things, and then I'll just let you enjoy this at your leisure. These red records are called test records.
Uh-huh.
Cool. And of course, we have a lot of his uniforms here. I will tell you that rumor has it that he did wear a girdle. Kind of, you know, press in. Isn't that funny?
I should try that.
Isn't that funny? I got too much to press. That up there is Blue Suede Shoes sheet music, which is hard to say. Blue Suede Shoes.
Yeah, sheet music. Yeah, you gotta be careful there.
Anyway, that's not Carl in the picture. He wasn't available for the picture. That's Charlie Feathers. Wouldn't happen today, would it? Isn't
Now,
that
where is he
hilarious?
buried at?
In Ridgecrest Cemetery.
Okay, here?
Yep,
Okay, so he truly made this his home then, didn't he?
absolutely. He was very philanthropic. Just a wonderful gentleman, and his son Stan and daughter Debbie still live here. And we had a Coca-Cola bottling works factory here, and they did some commemorative Coca-Cola bottles for him to sell for his charity.
Okay.
Small town.
And when did Carl die?
It was 1998.
Been a few years then, hadn't it?
Been a few years.
Been a few years on
He
me
was a
too.
wonderful, wonderful person.
Yeah, I've added a few years myself since '98.
Well, if you have any questions, I hope I can answer.
Well, thank you so much. You've been very helpful.
Oh,
You know. Okay, folks. And that's the show. Jackson, Tennessee, look at that. East College Street.